By now, you've probably heard my magic wand story. It's a brand that's been part of my personal journey for more than 20 years. But no matter how many times I sing Magic Wand's praises, I'll never be able to fully capture the story of this incredible brand. Well, now journalist and author Kate Sloan just completed a limited audio series documenting the history and impact that Magic Wand has created over the last 56 years. It's called Making Magic. And the series chronicles Magic Wand's incredible brand story through interviews with nearly 40 experts, performers, business owners, educators, and fans. So I got a sneak preview of the series, and what I loved is that Kate weaves together snippets from all their interviews into this amazing story arc. She covers Magic Wand's journey from appliance store massager to its legendary influence on culture and sexual independence, and it's all just fascinating. The first episodes of Making Magic are available now at makingmagicseries.com or on all popular podcast platforms. Just search for Making Magic or visit makingmagicseries.com today.
I realize that we're looking at the problem completely wrong. We're trying to solve the end symptom. Trying to fix this breast or that testicle or this cancer. And we're not looking at causation. Why are we getting sick in the first place? Let's find out what's causing us to get sick in the first place and eliminate it.
Thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. I'm Dr. Emily, and on today's show, I'm joined by actress, writer, and activist, you probably know her as the Nanny, Fran Drescher. Topics include why it's so important to be more than just a patient, but a medical consumer. Well, we'll tell you what that is. What you can do for your health to ensure you're living your best life possible, aka clean living, but it's not as hard as you think. A couple of ways to overcome trauma and get back to a healthy sex life, and why second, third, and sometimes fourth opinions going to your doctor matter. All this and more. Thanks for listening.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh, my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, check out sexwithemily.com. You're going to love our site. And follow us on all social media. It's at Sex with Emily across the board. And you can find me on SiriusXM Radio 5 nights a week. I can answer your questions there. Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific on Stars 109. And you can also just call me, 888-947-8277. Or get a free 30-day trial at sexwithemily.com/SXM. Also, if you haven't heard the news and you haven't seen it yet, you got to check out my Sex with Emily Vesper, which essentially is the coolest piece of jewelry / vibrator you ever had. It's an elegant vibrator you wear as a necklace. It's really strong, USB rechargeable, and then you can get this limited edition phrases that I wrote for you. It's I come first, turn me on, or meditate, masturbate, manifest. You guys have been loving them. I never take it off. Yes, it's a vibrator and it works. Great conversation piece, super empowering, and you always have your vibe with you. And you can find that at sexwithemily.com/Vesper. All right, guys, I hope you enjoy this interview with Fran Drescher. I am so excited to welcome my guest. I have Fran Drescher's here, and she is, you know Fran, do they all know you from Nanny?
I hope so. Gee.
You're a legend. I love you. I'm so happy that you're here. We're all so excited. We all have our moments of like our favorite like Fran moments. But what you've been doing.
Tell me, I didn't realize you were a doctor.
Yeah, I'm a doctor of human sexuality, not a medical doctor, but I studied human sexuality and got a doctorate. Yep.
Wow, good for you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
That's what I do. I help people.
Done.
Yeah, you know, I
maybe next year we should have you speak at our
Yes. Well, that's the thing. I was looking at your...
All year we curate the most fantastic speakers.
Oh, I would love to come speak at your summit. So this is... Well, you're here to talk about many things. So let's talk about that. You're having, on November 2nd, you're having a summit in Los Angeles.
The Fran Drescher Masterclass Health Summit at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion in the Los Angeles Music Center. You could get your tickets at cancerschmancer.org, and I'll be there. And all year I've curated amazing doctors to blow your mind, basically. People don't even want to go to the restroom because for fear they're going to miss something. And it's just one powerful talk after another that covers the gamut of global health. And it's fantastic. And you walk away with a lot of tools and call to action and motivation and education to really start rethinking everything that you do.
Now, tell me about it. So it's a women's health.
Well, we
everyone's
as an
health.
organization, the Cancer Schmancer movement, it's a fundraiser for Cancer Schmancer, but our kind of fundraiser is putting on a real education program of doing what we do, of actually showing you what we're about. And we're a health organization, Cancer Schmancer Movement. We started focusing on women because I'm a gynecologic cancer survivor.
Yes.
But very shortly after we started, I began to see that the problem with this unhealthy paradigm in this country is not about a particular gender or even a particular body part. It's about how we're living, how we're exposing ourselves to a cacophony of chemicals and carcinogens and toxins.
Yeah.
And we have to stop that because how you live equals how you feel. And
Well, all of that. Yes. We were talking before when she first got in here, like water bottles, like plastic. Why are we drinking out of plastic still? It's also bad for us. But I want to back up to your story.
and it's bad for the planet.
Yeah, for the planet. Exactly.
And we're one big living interdependent organism. So
I think we're just starting to get it. But
I hope
like not
so.
everyone, not everywhere,
well,
not every
you know
time.
what the thing is, when you look at, like the human history, there are these pockets where we go into dark ages and we get dumbed down and numbed out to things that maybe other people knew. We're getting close to understanding that we must live at one with the natural world. But truth be told, the indigenous cultures have known that for,
I know.
Eons.
I know. It's true. But we're just, but the thing, you're right. And I hope that we're getting there. And I love that you're putting on this summit and it's been so successful. But I just want to go back to something you said, because that you had cancer, and that's kind of been, we always say the silver lining or lemonade out of lemons.
Sure.
Like you, successful actress, super driven, and you were just going, working it, as a lot of us do here. And then you were misdiagnosed. You had perimenopausal symptoms.
Exactly.
Like who doesn't, right?
Exactly.
I mean, well, not that I do. I know what you're saying. And they're like, no, it's just you and the go-to, go home. And sometimes gynecologists tell
Or
women,
take
take a glass of
hormone
wine, take
replacement
hormones, put some synthetic
therapy,
hormones.
right.
Turns out you had cancer.
Right. And, I was very lucky that even at the end of 2 years and 8 doctors, I was still in stage 1. So I had a slow growing cancer. If it was ovarian cancer, I'm sure I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now. And the more I wrote a New York Times bestseller by the same name, Cancer.
This is also, I just want to say this, you guys, if you want to go to the organization, you want to go to her health summit on November 2nd, Fran Drescher's Health Summit. It is groundbreaking. You should go. We're putting it in our show notes. Go to sexwithemily.com. You can click on the link there.
Thank you.
So, okay.
Okay.
I just want them to know.
Yeah, I
Keep going.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate
How
that.
about you?
I realize that we're looking at the problem completely wrong. We're trying to solve the end symptom. Trying to fix this breast or that testicle or this cancer. And we're not looking at causation. Why are we getting sick in the first place? Let's find out what's causing us to get sick in the first place and eliminate it. Let's not get cancer in the first place. How's that for a cure?
Well, that would be a great cure. But what you're saying is you had to get a second, which I always tell people, get a second opinion, get a third opinion.
You're right.
Your doctor doesn't know. I talk a lot about functional medicine, Eastern, Western, and I think a lot of our listeners are, all over the world, but all over this country for sure.
That's my phone. Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Usually it's me going off.
Who's that?
I like your ring though.
Oh, thank
Is that
you.
why you're happy?
Sorry.
And you look beautiful, by the way. You do. Like your skin. Could you come back another time? We'll just talk about your skin and regimen. But maybe it's all the clean.
Thank you.
It's the clean living.
Organic. I sleep on my back. I taught myself to sleep on my back.
Yeah.
And, organic is key. And organic products for your skin is very important.
Okay.
And then, balancing mind, body, and spirit shows. And having a clean liver is really important for the
Yeah,
skin.
because your liver tells you everything about your
Yeah.
skin. And then so when you're getting a second opinion or third opinion, but what you decided was like, I feel like you are training people to become like medical consumers, you say.
Right.
We should be asking, bring a friend, take notes, record what your
Exactly.
doctor's saying.
Yes.
Don't assume that, because it's
And
kind
you know
of like
what?
when you're-
Doctors
yeah.
aren't gods. They're
Not
just
gods.
people with problems
Yes.
of their own, and they're bludgeoned by big business health insurance to go the least expensive route
Exactly.
of diagnostic testing. So don't be afraid to say, hold on a minute. You need to sit and listen to what I'm saying and give me a little bit of time. And if that person isn't interested in doing that, then that's not the doctor for you.
Right.
Move on. It's your life. Because when the doctor calls and tells you you have cancer, at the end of the day, he goes home and eats dinner with his family. You go home and eat your heart out with yours. So it's your life. Take control of it. And what we try to do is, educate, motivate, and activate people into taking control of their bodies.
So what does that look like? So this is through cancer, schmancer. I can't, cancer, schmancer.
Schmancer.
Schmancer. And then they come to the summit. So it's like a lot about what you're saying, the mind-body connection. I know you're having cannabis, which
Yeah, we always
I'm
have
a
a great
fan of.
Harvard medical doctor turned cannabis expert and really is a radical in the forefront of the revolution and is brilliant.
But how does it
and a
relate to the
woman of
mind
color.
body? Is it what kind of things with cannabis or
the
whatever
thing
else is happening
We
there?
have a very progressive program called Detox Your Home at Cancer Schmancer. The home is the most toxic place we spend the most time in, and ironically have the most control over. So we ask you to learn about that. Take the in, on, and around you challenge. What are you putting in your mouth? What are you putting on your skin? All your personal care items and oral hygiene. What are you cleaning? What are you gardening with? What aromas are you using in your house? Candles and those things that stick in the sockets. Anything that has a long-lasting scent is probably carcinogenic.
Oh, no.
You have to start thinking about all that. Your cosmetics.
Okay, wait. Can we go back to what those candles? I love my candles.
You got to
I
get
light
very...
incense. Is my incense okay?
Well,
It's not the Indian.
yeah, the incense are probably okay, but still, I would make sure that what you're buying is extremely pristine. You can do everything. Just make sure that you're buying very pristine and nothing that has a scent. That says that it's like just.
But what about a sexy scent that you want in your home?
It has to be an organic. Essential oil. Do
Right.
you use a diffuser?
I do but it is. They are. I do use organic essential oils. But
Then
so
you're
I've-
great.
Oh,
Then
good. I was
that's
afraid I had to
golden.
throw the whole thing away.
Oh no,
I was like,
that's
another
the
thing.
alternative. I have
Another
the
thing in the
sexiest,
trash.
roll. I wonder if I have it on me.
Oh,
Roll on perfume. That's
okay.
essential oils. And if I tell you, every single person, I wonder if I have it.
I love organic, and I like the roll on because it's sexy. You put it on the nape of your neck, wherever
Everywhere.
else you want, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Are
I
you-
don't have it. I don't.
That's
think.
okay.
But,
But
that's
it's-
what you have to do. You have to shift gears and find the replacement. And it takes a little bit of time, but it's so worth it because so much of the dis-ease that we're experiencing today is almost completely because of all the crap that we're bringing into our home.
I totally
And all
totally
these-
agree with that. Wait,
all
let me
these
just tell.
doctors, yeah.
Yeah.
what?
No, I'm just saying who I'm talking to. People don't know. They just tune in. They just got in their car. Fran Drescher's here, you guys. She's throwing down some serious wisdom here. A lot of your stuff in your home, not to be the bearer of bad news. You might have to throw it out, but it will help you have better sex and better love.
Or finish it. You
Finish
spent
it.
money on it, but then when
Right,
it's
it's like
time
my
to
mom. Wait till you
replace
finish it. And then, okay, okay, you guys can call us with anything. I'm here with Fran Drescher. She's got a health summit on November 2nd.
Every single one of these doctors went to medical school, drank the Kool-Aid, started practicing, got woke, and decided there's got to be a better way. This is a profit-driven business sickness, and you have to realize that. And, it's supporting hospitals, it's supporting doctors, it's supporting pharmaceuticals.
It's so true.
And, we're the consumer. We're the ones that enable everything from the irresponsible manufacturer, the sociopathic big business manufacturer who doesn't really care about anything but making of the bottom line.
Well, so I think I heard you say somewhere we are in the business of sick, not the business of getting sexually, or not, I say sexual health, any healthy. I can't have to throw in the sex. We are in the business of keeping people sick and not help. If you watch TV, you see all the ads and take this drug and that drug, but we're not like saying like, here's some organic, reasons why you should buy this and that. We buy this cleaner or this soap, or it's all,
exactly.
We're caught in this
You got to
loop.
start reading labels and understanding that we're supporting our own dis-ease in our bodies. The human immune system can't cope with all of these chemicals.
Let's talk about how the chemicals that specifically, like what is like people are like, whoa, I didn't know that.
Well, first of all, if you're using one of those major brand toothpastes that say, do not swallow or call poison control, get rid of that toothpaste.
Really?
That I will say throw away, because you cannot. That it's your mouth. It should be made of herbs that grew in your grandma's garden. I mean, you cannot put stuff in your mouth 1, 2, or 3 times a day and not expect it to start seeping into the gums. Is the gateway to a lot of disease. Never get a root canal. That is the only part of the body that's allowed to be dead and remain inside the body within the entire medical community. And it's not
never
good.
get a root canal. I mean, I know our gums are the secret to our, if you bad gums, bad health.
Just take out
Floss.
the dead tooth and put in like an implant, an inert implant, because the tooth has trillions of microscopic holes in it. When it's alive, that's part of its filtration system. But when it's dead, it's just leaching crap down your neck, into your thyroid, into your breast, into your heart. It's not advisable. Or even, you could be getting sinus infections, headaches.
It can all be avoided by the foods we're eating, by
dentist,
the toxic
we have a
products.
biologic dentist coming. Most biologic dentists
biologic dentist.
Yes,
Let's
and
talk
he
about what
wrote
that is.
the mouth-body connection.
Okay.
And, most biologic dentists...
It's making me want to floss right now.
I love to floss.
Okay.
Are not going to, advise you to get...
Because they were trained the way they were trained.
Because they understand, even prophylactically taking out wisdom teeth when there's nothing wrong with them is a mistake, because every tooth connects to a different energy meridian in the body. Your average dentist isn't thinking about that.
So we don't have to get the requisite wisdom teeth out?
I would, whatever your dentist says, if he's an old school dentist, I would get a second opinion from a biologic dentist.
So who else is going to be there that I want to see?
Oh, we have Sharon Osbourne is going to be sharing her compelling story of cancer and her survival.
Amazing. Okay.
And she's delightful, such a sweet woman. So she's kind of like our celebrity speaker.
Okay.
Besides we've had Matthew Modine. Yeah, besides me. I do the whole show. I mean, I'm either introducing or doing one-on-one interviews or doing a panel discussion. And if you buy a VIP ticket, then at the end of after the last speaker, you go into the exquisite founders room and get to have a one-on-one with the doctors and
so
me.
Worth it. And you get to just hang out.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
and by the end of the day, you'll have questions. There'll be someone in that, constellation of doctors that you're going to want to get in front of.
So is your hope that people leave there feeling at least, because I feel like we're empowered
and educated and feeling like, okay, I got a game plan. I know what I can do.
Right.
Instead of being scared and feeling impotent, what we do is pivot it, because there's so many problems with the world. And at the end of the day, change yourself. That's what you have complete control of. So start doing that. Start changing yourself. Honor the planet, honor your body, and use your purchasing power as not only your vote, but your protest.
Yeah. So what I'm saying, though, people who are listening, I think people know now they have to start, and myself, we have to make changes. And I started with the organic, the deodorant, going from regular deodorant to the organic was like a whole thing. Like,
I found one
smell
that I
bad.
really love.
Yeah, me too.
Good.
Yeah,
so that's it.
Took
it's
a
trial
while,
and error.
But I'm saying just the baby steps of starting, like the deodorant, and then you start with it. But what are you giving steps? Because people can't go home and throw out all their stuff right now.
You don't have to throw it out. But I would never use an antiperspirant.
Right.
Because that has aluminum in it. And people with dementia and Alzheimer's have massive amounts of aluminum in their brain. And that generation got it from cooking with aluminum foil,
Right.
aluminum cans, aluminum
How about when I
pots,
used to suntan with
pans, aluminum
foil
cups
on
they used to have.
Did you ever get Did you ever suntan with
The-
aluminum foil?
Yeah, I didn't, but
No, look at your skin. You didn't. I did. You didn't.
I never liked
so smart.
sun so much. No, I
That's
just wasn't
sun.
happy in
It's
it.
no
Now I walk
sun.
around with a parasol. I'm so eccentric.
That's so romantic, though, too.
But
It's kind of sexy.
Women will see me and say, "Oh, I'm going to start doing that."
I have friends who
I'm
do
gonna
that.
Bring back the parasol.
Yeah, why not? You always have something to do with your hand.
Yes,
It's kind of sexy, like to walk around.
and you know what? The one that I'm using now is like white nylon, so it gives that beautiful cast of light.
So it's
Yeah,
it's
so
almost
it's
like
very
having a
flattering.
selfie camera in front of you all the time.
Yeah.
Like I wish this camera here that's filming our I wish this followed me around all the time. The light.
Yes.
So that's what the parasol does. You should make your own now and sell it that
Now,
way.
is
Like your
this doing
selfies
me,
never
but
look
you're
so
only
great.
going to get me from the side.
We're getting you there, and then we have also secret cameras all around.
I see. Okay, good.
But
So
I think
if
that's getting her
in
from.
looking at you, I'm not.
We're getting it all. It's going to be
Okay.
beautiful because then we've got a whole camera thing going.
Oh,
There's
good.
someone downstairs looking at us now who I don't even really know. But apparently he's looking at me all the time. I was like, you're always there, like even on the breaks when I'm like, So that's what's happening with it. I know. They're looking at us. Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick break and we come back more Fran Drescher. So I'm so amazed by you and my deep dive into all things Fran Drescher is that you got diagnosed with cancer in 2000 and then you wrote a book. 2 years later, a book came out. So did you get diagnosed? You're like, okay, pivot, going to change the world and my life changed. I mean, that's amazing just in itself.
Right.
You gave birth to this book.
Yes, well, that's
In 2
true, and that's
years.
the way I put it too. Because, I was in a relationship with a guy that was 16 years my junior, and he was the first person that really kind of awakened those maternal feelings in me. I wanted to have his baby.
Okay.
First time. And, but then I got diagnosed, and the radical hysterectomy was my cure. So that kind of ended that. And we kind of lasted maybe 2
Okay.
years after. He was amazing and very helpful and, really an angel. But I never had that kid.
Right.
And could never after that thing in the
Right.
natural way. So, but I did give birth to a book.
Right. Yeah.
And, I remember thinking that I didn't want what happened to me to happen to other people by means of misdiagnosis and mistreatment. And it wasn't really until, and I had to write 4 drafts of that book, longhand with a Mont Blanc pen. And because I wasn't computer savvy then
Right.
to write my whole book on, I liked putting pen to paper.
Yeah.
And I really, it took me 4 drafts to find the funny bone because in the beginning I was very angry and bitter. And I thought I felt kind of screwed over from the medical community and by my own body, quite frankly. And I had always likened myself to be everyone else's caregiver and the superwoman and the stalker, and And then I was so level to the ground. I was so weak and depressed after that surgery, and they kind of decided to take out my appendix without even talking to me about it. And they kind of said, well, you don't need it anyway, and you're only at risk of it getting infected once we open your abdomen. And fast forward 19 years later, it turns out in the community that I work, that the appendix is really the brains of the lymphatic system.
Right.
So basically my lymphatic system got a lobotomy, and I have chronic inflation as a result of it.
So all these things happen. So at the time, if you had known this with the cancer diagnosis, you had the radical hysterectomy, you said. That's not, what would you have done instead? You would have kept it, obviously.
I would have kept my appendix.
Right, appendix, right.
I probably would have had, I don't know. I probably would have had the hysterectomy.
Right.
but I wouldn't have had the appendix removed.
But what
and
about
then
the
thing was
hysterectomy,
they
though?
took 40 lymph nodes too,
Well, that's
which
okay.
is a lot. That also compromises the lymphatic system. And it turns out I was in stage 1, but the surgeon, the oncologist, was worried because when she did her own endometrial biopsy, she was picking up on cells that were grade 4. And 4 is the most mature.
Yeah.
So she didn't know. She figured you've had this for at least 2 years. And I don't know how advanced it is. So we're just going to take everything out.
So that's what happened.
We're going to take out, the 40 lymph nodes. We're going to do a full cavity wash and hope for the best.
Okay.
Then when the pathology report came out, they said that I was in stage 1, grade 2. So the majority of the cells were grade 2. And the tumor was stage 1, which means it hadn't even penetrated the wall of the endometrial lining. It was just sitting there kind of getting bigger.
So this was, so I said the hysterectomy because a lot of people, I was thinking about the radicalness of just having that, but then your appendix. So that's the part, the lymph nodes you wouldn't have done because now you realize. But let's talk a little bit about your history before that, because I know you've been through a lot. We're going to move into some experiences, sex, trauma.
Yes. Well, I married my high school sweetheart, Peter, and we met when we were 15, and we fell in love, and had a lot in common and are really soulmates, and we're still the best of friends and very much a family. But he realized that his true orientation was being gay. And needless to say, we split after that. But prior to that, I had become a victim of a violent crime. A man that was on parole and his brother burst into my house, knocked down the front door, and raped me and my girlfriend. And
how old were you then?
I was, I think, 27, maybe.
Okay. In New York?
Yeah, I think I was like 27,
Okay.
Something like that. I was afraid to feel my pain.
That's right.
And that was a thing that I kind of, had its post-traumatic stress later. When I was early in doing the Nanny, one of the tabloid television entertainment shows did a whole piece on that I had been raped, and they even went to the jail to try and talk to the rapist. And for me, and people were calling my parents like it had just happened. It sounded like it had just happened. And at that point, I was actually already in therapy because I was having issues with my marriage, for obvious reasons.
Yes,
but we didn't know that was the reason at the time. He was just so controlling, and later we found out that it was because he was trying to control himself. So he was
because
controlling
he was gay.
me. Yeah, because
okay.
he was gay. But he loved me, and he wanted to be with me, and he didn't, really want to lose everything he had. So anyway.
So, but back up and think about the rape, and then I might have to go on to how you were
I know that you're a sex doctor, and, for after like the first 2 or 3 weeks, we had sex for the first time, Peter and I. And it was suggested that we kind of dive in the deep end and go for it.
Okay, after the
rape.
Okay. With your husband.
Yes.
They said just go ahead and have sex again. And then what happened?
Try it. Yeah, try it. Don't
Okay.
be afraid or
Like,
so we it was really an amazing thing, and I'll never forget it because I think that Peter saw in my face with my eyes closed that I was kind of grimacing and maybe back
yes, of
at
course.
that night of the attack. And he said, "Open your eyes. It's me. It's just me. I love you." And, and even now I kind of can get a little choked up thinking about it because it was just so sweet and loving. And I did open up my eyes, and I could see him right now over me, being so gentle and loving. And not all men are like that.
Right.
And not all husbands are like that.
Right.
They kind of can make it about them and start sulking
Ever
and
since
rejecting.
this thing happened, you never want to sex me since you've had pain or you've had this. Yeah.
Or they don't, or they reject you.
Yeah.
Because they feel like somehow you're soiled or whatever, and they don't want to be with you because, this man had his way with you or something. You hear terrible stories.
Oh, you do.
And I, as I said when we were off the air, women often have me sign their books from Enter Whining, where I write about it. Bad things happen to good people, and I talk about it in the second book too.
But the thing is, like, so we know 1 in 3 women are raped in this country, and typically, women who have been raped or had any kind of sexual assault, when they call into the show, or men, I often say, like, it's not going to go away just because if the more you repress it, whatever you resist persists. And what I recommend a lot these days, I found that EMDR therapy, trauma therapy can help for a lot of people, not just talking it, but you kind of have to get into your body and release a lot of we store emotions in our body and stuff. So what did you do? What kind of because I know you also said, I know that's a lot, going through this, you said that you learned you weren't vulnerable, and I get that. We're all been career women, not vulnerable, keeping our emotions. I had trauma growing up.
I kind of I thought I'm okay. I didn't get I thought I didn't really get hurt.
Right.
I mean, I didn't get beaten up.
It could have been worse, we say. I could have, right.
And, he didn't beat me up or anything. It wasn't it was a violation for sure. And it was violent, but it wasn't like it could have been worse. Right. I could have been brutally battered and wasn't at all. So, I thought, okay, I'm just going to get on with my life, but not really dealing with how it truly impacted me emotionally, had its repercussions. And I really think that contributed to why I got a gynecologic cancer. Because, you hold the pain in, and it's almost poetic that's where the cancer lodged itself in my uterus. Mm-hmm. So, you got to really feel your feelings. Even just today, a girlfriend of mine wrote me and said her mom passed away, and I felt so bad. But the thing that I tell people always is feel your feelings.
Feel them now. Don't repress them.
Honor the relationship. Grieve
but we don't know how to. So this is why I'm saying it's like in my own experience, like my dad died suddenly when I was 19 and he was 49.
Wow.
And I knew that I went back up to school, got 3 jobs, took a bunch of classes, been driven, right? But that I didn't, and I knew, I'm like, I haven't really dealt with it, but I didn't know what that looks like to deal with grieving. There's no manual, this is how you grieve. So I always just tell people, when my friends cry or anyone cries, I'm like, good, feel it, keep crying, it's good. When my producer Jamie started crying earlier this year, I was like, feel, because she hadn't felt, she kept things down. So it's I think it's
let
so
myself
right.
Cry, but
we're so women, we got to keep it all in.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. My manager of 38 years, who was like a surrogate mom to me, went out to lunch one day and dropped dead. I never saw her alive again. And she was the first person that I really, truly loved that died. So I was lucky that, it was only 4 years ago.
Right, so you knew how to feel by that. You had learned how to feel.
I did. Well, I honored that profound loss with grieving and not being embarrassed that I would start to cry in front of people.
Yeah, isn't it funny that we get so embarrassed to show it? And that's why we don't have a lot of great models about how to show emotions. I hope it's getting better for people, but definitely taking care of your health, your wellness.
Indulge yourself, honor the relationship. You can cry, and if anybody's uncomfortable, adios.
Yeah. Okay. Fran, we just have a few minutes. Before we go, I have a few things.
Okay.
I have to ask you the 5 questions that we ask all of our guests. Okay. And they have to do with sex, because we haven't gotten much into sex, but I got to do it, Fran. Just rape. But I think going from rape to sex. I know, Fran. So let's, a little bit of sex. Okay. No, okay. Biggest turn on? Okay.
I have to admit something here. I actually have dreams about Brad Pitt.
Oh, okay.
And he's the only, you love him too?
I love him. He's so hot.
He's the only star that shows up in my dreams. Yeah. And in the last one, he was in some kind of trouble, and I agreed for the sake of publicity, I would marry him.
Okay, fine. Just this once.
He turns me on if he shows up in my dreams.
I think so too. I'm with you.
But I like a nice kiss, like a really delicious, pillowy kiss.
Yes. Biggest turnoff
is the biggest turnoff. Oh, I thought you were saying that's your biggest turnoff.
Don't you dare kiss me. No, I love kisses.
No,
I love soft
kiss. The biggest turnoff is probably bad breath.
Yeah. Hygiene's a big one for people. What makes good sex?
For people.
Many people, hygiene's like a big category. When Michigan came out, category of problems.
I think what makes what? I don't
know. What makes good? I just want to count. Yeah. What makes good sex?
I think that both people really being in the moment and very present and really connecting and being extremely tactile and having it just be slow enough that you're making a connection.
Okay, your number one relationship tip or sex tip?
Get like really comfortable with being naked. Enjoy being naked.
Yeah, learn to love your body.
Yeah, totally. Sell it. Whatever it is, just sell it.
Okay, this just in from the other room, though. Your director says, what's your type of sexy man?
What's my type of sexy man? I think ultimately it's probably, in real life, I think that
Brad Pitt.
But I don't usually date blondes, even though Peter's kind of on the light side. I had the best sex with an Argentinian once.
Oh, I love that. Love her.
Yeah,
okay, Fran Drescher, thank you for being here. We got to go. Check out our 5th annual masterclass, Health Summit on November 2nd, cancerschmancer.org. It's all on our website, sexwithemily.com. All right, guys, thanks for listening to the show. Thank you for rating it 5 stars wherever you listen. I love when you do that. That really helps us so we can continue to do more shows. We know we release 3 shows a week now. And thank you to my amazing listeners and my great team. Love you, Ken, Kristen, Elisa, Michelle, producer Jamie, and Michael. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.